All right, what's up? What up? What up? What up? What up? How we doing? Hopping on here for another watch list. I'm gonna go over a couple macro themes. What I've got on watch going into the week ahead. Interesting dynamic. A few things to touch on, and I think I kind of been hopping on here when those bigger trades, those A plus sort of market themes and stuff of that sort um, presents itself, and I think we've got that scenario right now. So USO currently, like the further you zoom out, the less and less crazy that move into Friday looked. Like you've got this huge base breaking out, and sure, it did explode, but that's what you'd expect going through a big horizontal pivot like that, especially since it's just been consolidating since those COVID lows. We had the 2020 panic. I think my face might be blocking a little bit of it. But we had that 2020 panic, a steady grind up, sets its low, sets its high. Now we've got a trading range, the same thing I look for on these small caps. And then from 2022 onward, for the last 3 years, it's just been consolidating. So now we finally got some volume coming in, a little bit of range expansion, and that Middle East war catalyst. So things get going. So there was no part of me that wanted the short trade on this. Number one is we just saw silver and how these commodities don't act like those typical trades. And oops. And we basically had this sideways big consolidation range off of the COVID lows, sets its low, sets its high, tests it a few times, finally starts to break out, and in a vacuum, this move right here, maybe not as straight up as USO, but for a commodity, this does look fairly parabolic and straight up. Now, what happens is it collects itself, consolidates, and that short trade was a lot harder than people would have expected. So going with USO, we're gapping up to 133 right now. It's up like 23, 24% from the previous close. Just absolutely insane. So could there be a short-term pullback going into Monday or Tuesday? Possibly. Would I be looking to take it? No, not really. The prior high here at like 94 up to 133, we've got like a 30% move. That's nothing that I'm really shouting off the rooftops about. But what is gaining my interest is stuff like Battle, for example. This one here gapping up to 26. So we've got this straight up move from 5 up to 30, going gap to gap. Massive gap down. First green day bounce, pushes up into prior resistance. Everybody thinks that pushes up, fails into resistance, and fades off. Volume hasn't gone anywhere. Then we get a gap up, and now we're within shooting distance of highs. If you look at like an intradaily, this is consolidating over all key levels, and now with it gapping up into the 26s, we're right at that top day's VWAP. So if this starts to break through this 29s level, I think this thing can, for lack of a better term, explode higher. Consolidating higher lows, and in the right sector has proven multi-day runs, and typically these bigger picture themes hang around a lot longer than people think. So yeah, that's Battle. T-Pet, I really like the look of this one. So far gapping up into the 220s, but we had this front side move, gave back basically all of its move, and was back below those day one lows. Looked like it was completely dead. I had posted my trade on this one on this day because we had a move from 40 cents to $2. We pulled back, so now I'm looking for that backside bounce. I was in there at 106, risking 99 cents, was risking 6 or 7 cents, and ended up selling it up here into the 130s. and completely minimize this trade. Yes, I was risking 6 cents and made like 25 cents, so it was a great risk reward trade. But for what it could have been, left a ton on the table. But now we're getting into the next setup where we get that big pull, or that big push, that big pull, that elastic snapback, and then I wait for it to consolidate and choose its next direction. And now with USO exploding higher and this consolidating the upper end of its daily range, for this to break through this 240 resistance, the daily bar is getting tighter and tighter near highs. I think this one is a worthy candidate for a breakout trade there. Turb would technically be the most extended in my eyes. It did break out and hold its gains on Thursday and gapped up on Friday. Most of these names, like you saw on TPET, were so far off of its highs that they weren't continuing higher. They faded off into close. TMDE did the same thing, where it went on a big run, gave back to day one lows, pop, wick, and then gapped up, but wasn't up back through those highs. So TMDE could be a laggard. This one here gapping up to the 350s right now. Again, all of this could change. This is just overnight markets showing some prints. But this thing back through like $4, this prior high, could be a laggard. Doesn't move quite as fast. TPET was one that was running back when Indo and IMPP, right over here, when Indo and IMPP were going nuts back in 2024. This was a familiar name. Right here, Indo was good, and IMPP. What the heck? IMMP? I thought it was IMPP. I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing my tickers, but I'm pretty sure that was one of them. But anyways, this one was a familiar name and was going with the sector. So I think this one could get going and could be one of the leaders with Battle. Turb, I don't really have a pattern to trade on this one at the moment. It's gapping up to $5. So far hasn't gone red. So this one could be a short candidate when the time comes on the sector, but I will keep that on watch. Enor, I traded this one on Friday through that 75s breakout and didn't amount to much. We were gapping up right into it, opened right below the breakout level. I was buying right through this trigger. We got a straight up move and a straight down move in one candle. I let it chop around, do its thing, and once it started to roll over through here, I was taking it off. So basically, as I was swiping through here in the 75, 76s, I took it off here in the 74, 75s. So it losing a penny or two, it didn't really amount to much. Don't really love the way it traded, fairly choppy back and forth. So I probably avoid trading this one in the future. It's just not the most friendly. And then Stack would be another one related to this sector. We got that big front side move, pull back for a couple days, first green day bounce, inside day. We've got this little descending area to work off of right through here. So if this starts to get back above these prior highs in the 120s, 130s, add through those 130s bigger picture breakout levels, I think this one could get going, has proven it can go on multi-day runs, and so far gapping up into the 110s. So looking really good here with the oil basket. We'll see where USO opens tomorrow, but will probably be an early wake-up call and take advantage of maybe some pre-market gaps. So USO will be the main kind of temperature for the commodities. Battle and TPET will be my top two main watches. Stack would be my number 3. And then TMDE would be that back burner, just a slower mover, and is nowhere near its highs yet, but if everything breaks out, then this one likely follows suit. I haven't ran through FinViz this evening through all my scans, just because I feel like this sector is that moment to size and make your month. So I haven't done like a huge deep dive into other names. I might do it after I hop off this live here. We'll see how much longer I end up rambling on for. But I feel like oil should be my main focus, and then try not to do too much else. MobX was a breakout, ultimately failed by the close. Was looking pretty good after it pushed up into prior resistance right here, and then was consolidating higher lows. Was looking pretty good. Now, it did pop through those 120s briefly, did announce that it was going to do a reverse split there around the close. So any shorts that were in that for the reverse split headline, this is now gapping up to 108, 109. So if this breaks through those 120s, I think it could get a spike going. This does have pretty decent offering risk that I think probably how the run ends. So this wouldn't be something I would take in pre-market or overnight, just given that that's typically when the offerings are happening, is pre-market and after hours. So I wouldn't be taking this overnight, but just for like an intraday squeeze play, if it gets back through those 120s, would be something worth watching. RXT was a stair stepper, but slowly starting to fizzle off. AIF, this one here was a liquidity trap I played on Friday. That day one, big volume day. Day two, volume completely dies off, but closes above that day one VWAP. So right in here, I'm basically long in the 150s, risking versus prior day's close. We get a pullback off the open, immediately gets absorbed, and a straight up spike out of nowhere. And I was locking in up there into the 190s. Didn't want to try to get a home run out of it, and looks like ended up catching the meat of the move anyways. PRSO, big percent gainer on Friday. I believe this has some connection to MobX. Could be incorrect, but if my memory serves me, I believe I saw some mentions of that. And then EDS was another multi-day runner, couple-day pullback. Lower volume, so not really interested in playing that backside bounce, but ended up going straight up off the lows, and that breakout trade worked out fairly well. So breakouts are definitely working. So in a market where breakouts are working on these small caps, we've got a sector theme, and then we've got some chart setups like TPET that are setting up like A+. So it would be basically that's where I'd want to put my attention. I can open up my FinViz if you guys want. I just don't think there's going to be A-grade opportunities on there when I'm looking for like multi-day runners or something. I think my focus is going to be on this oil sector. So whatever I pull up there, I'm likely not going to be trading as heavy as these oil trades. What's going on, Mr. Stuff and Such, Be Him, Gatto. Good to see you guys. Be Him is long energy over the weekend. Very nice. I thought about it into close. That weak close on like TPET, for example, over here, you get that gap up and straight up move. I was like, that weak. But then you got headline risk that, if Trump comes out and says the war is over, these things gap down huge. So I just figured I'd react to it and not try to predict what I wanted to happen. What do you look into BRN? Looks like an oil name. gapping up to 130s right now. It just doesn't run. It's got no volume right now. In the hottest sector, this thing is trading less than 1 million shares. Is there a little breakout here through 140? Sure. Maybe it is one of those low volume laggards that does something like this, where you get that buck a share move. But I just think that there is better, more ideal charts to be focused on. I don't really have to look into the name itself to see if it's oil. I can see the volume has come in recently, and it's got very similar charts where it goes on a run, pulls back hard, couple day bounce, and it's chopping up near its highs. This just looks like an oil chart. This is what all the small cap oil charts will look like right now. But this wouldn't be something I would trade. It's just super illiquid and no volatility. Trading 10, 15,000 shares a minute. I mean, I could move a candle. So that would be my thoughts on that one. Let me just buzz through my FinViz here. I'm not going to pull it up. I'm just going to buzz through a few charts, see if I see anything that's not already on my radar. Like I say, I doubt there's really much else that I should be watching outside of small cap oil sector. Wonder what Indo is gapping up to right now. 670. Damn, that's a big gap. A buck a share. Jeez. I guess that's kind of a breakout candidate too. It's the OG small cap oil name. Like there's one, like ANTX. Like that's typically a small cap I would love to trade. Therapeutics, biotech name. Gap to gap, little volume starts to speed up into close. Gapping down in the 270s right now. I don't have my other chart with the 4 EMA on it, but I imagine going from 1 to 280, the 4 EMA is probably in like this 2 to 220 area. But that would be something that I would start to watch if I didn't have like these A+ oil names. And what you also can do, like Timmy was asking about another oil name, is I'll typically go on to FinViz and I'll type in something like TPET or Battle or something. Type it in and it'll give you the sector under the ticker name. Click on that sector and it gives you a list of every name that's in that sector. And I either sort by volume or sort by market cap and look for ideal chart patterns. And that's typically how you can get some sector sympathy trades. Okay. Just a couple more scans here to hit, and then, like I say, I doubt I'm really going to find much that I want to trade outside of those oil names. That's why I wanted to hop on here and get prepared, one, that I could go back and watch this video, seeing my trade plans that I just laid out, and seeing how I execute those tomorrow, and then in the future looking to trade these sector themes and looking how previous ones have set up. But I like that we just had silver and gold commodity trades fresh in our minds. So much stuff is getting smoked. These large cap names and stuff, like so many on the fader scan. Percent losers. one here. IBRX, what a joke. I hate that ticker. Piece of garbage. Okay, good enough. Just what I suspected. I threw ANTX just on my list of names to watch. If I do trade it, it would be on a side screen with like minimal 1R risk, and like trading something like TPET and Battle and stuff like that is going to be 5 to 10R risk. Like, it's just where the risk should be. 130 still on this thing. It's insane. That's how I got BRAN and PED. Yeah, same thing. Like, the names to watch, like Battle is for sure the small cap sector leader. Obviously trade like USO would be, I will keep a chart up of USO all day long. That's where I'm gauging the sector from. Battle is where I'm gauging small cap sector strength, and TPET has been trading in lockstep with it. So Battle and TPET, I think, is where the focus should be. Those are the main names. If you don't want to trade the head of the snake, there's always that higher priced one that seems to be, that kind of gets going a little bit more than the rest, and then the others get picked up off of it. So if you don't want to be trading the head of the snake with the wider risk, bigger price swings, then don't trade Battle, but I think TPET is the closest sympathy to it. Turb is the strongest. This one's got relative strength versus its peers. So if we get that massive extension, this one probably runs a little bit further than the rest. But given that there's no chart pattern, I just wouldn't trade it. TMDE is a laggard. ENOR is trading enough volume that this would be in the same basket as your PED and BRNs, but ENOR is just far more liquid and more range, just a lot cleaner of volume starting to come into it. And then Stack going, I think this is like liquidity trap and breakout all in one with the sector theme. So I think it's worth basically like putting all these names on a list and just figuring out, you don't need to try and find the next one. You need to find the cleanest one that's going to set up the best with the best risk reward and the cleanest chart pattern. So I don't look to just shotgun buy everything in the sector and try to catch the next one that moves. I scan for my same daily chart patterns and trade the ones that still have the same daily chart setup that I would trade regardless. I just have more conviction because it's linked to that sector theme. So yeah, Battle, TPET, main two that most of my size will go to. USO as the anchor. Stack would be my number 3, and then TMDE would be my number 4. And then these ones down here, they're at the bottom of my list, but something like MobX, back burner for that 120 is, again, probably like a 1 to 2R risk on something like that, and like a 1 to 2R risk on something like that for the first red day short. But main watch will be this oil. 133.78 is its overnight gap right now. And it closed at 108. So it's gapping up $25. Just insane. Alrighty, guys, I will wrap it up there. I will post this recording as soon as I hop off here. Yeah, get some rest. See some of you in Investors Underground bright and early tomorrow. And I will catch you guys later. Take it easy. Peace.